Howdy, I'm Mike Van. I'm a cowboy, a rancher, and a cutting horse trainer. I've been doing this a long time. I'm from the South. Not a whole lot at that time. That was in the 60s, and there wasn't a whole lot of people around then that knew a whole lot to really help anybody. And that's part of the reason I wanted to make these films. I'm getting older, a little long in the tooth, and hopefully I can produce something that might make it easy for you to learn something about the performance horse and the cow horse. And maybe you can learn it a little quicker than I did, because it was sure a hard thing for me to learn with nobody, no mentors really to help me. From 1980 to 2010, I was a ranch manager for a pretty big outfit. And main reason I was a ranch manager, my love of the horse got me into that, because if you're going to train horses, you need lots of cattle. So that kind of worked in pretty good. They had lots of cattle, and I worked about 110 hours a week, but every morning for 3 hours, I devoted it to the training cutting horses. I had it set up when I come in the morning. There was horses on the walker. I could ride 8 or 9 horses in 3 hours, and then I'd go about running the ranch. But that's kind of how my life has gone, and I'll be honest, I've never really worked a day in my life, because I've always done pretty much what I wanted to do. And I wouldn't probably change a whole heck of a lot. I've met some wonderful people in the cutting horse business. The quality of people, you just couldn't match it anywhere. I've watched a lot of history. I was there in the right time frame, just kind of luck deal, where I got to see Smart Little Lena, Docalina, all the Poco Lena, all the great horses coming up through that period of time. The horses we started out with in the late 60s are just nowhere close to the horses we have today. The breeders have just done an unbelievable job with breeding these horses. They're just a complete different animal. Today, I break a lot of coat steel, and very seldom, I'm always looking for a reason to cull one, because the trip, the journey that we take training one is a long journey, and it costs a lot of money. And if a horse doesn't have a really good mind, or if he's handicapped physically anyway, well, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to continue with that horse. So we're always looking for something to cull that horse, because when we get through training him, we're probably going to have $30,000 or $40,000 in him. And it's a very competitive sport. And if you don't end up with a competitive horse, well, you just kind of blew your $30,000 or $40,000. I'm going to talk a little bit about Show Pro Industries. The flag that I've got, and I've had for a real long time, and Lloyd at Show Pro Industries, they in Springtown, Texas. Lloyd is a very knowledgeable guy. If you want to get technical, he's the guy to talk to, because buddy, he can get technical. He knows everything there is to know about it. He can answer any question. The model that I've got is an old model. It's a 1401. I've probably had this thing 18, 19, 20 years. I've never had any problems with it. It's been a good unit. I also have a round pin. This is a big old round pin. I've got a round pin unit too, and I've never had any problems with it. You can't ask for somebody to be any more knowledgeable than Show Pro Industries. John is a technician there, and buddy, he knows. He's good. I recommend these people, and I'm not going to do that, recommend anybody. I've got to have some sponsors to put this 30 minutes together. But the people that I'm going to recommend to you, I am very confident that they stand behind their stuff and they got good stuff. I'm not going to advertise for somebody that I don't believe in. I'm just not going to do it. If they've got good stuff, and I've owned some of it, and I know it, and I know that they're going to stand behind it, I'm going to dang sure pull the plug for them. But Lloyd is a good guy. I'm sure they got a website. If you have any problems, you can call me. My number is 334-391-0811. 334-391-0811, and I'll help you get hooked up with Lloyd. Here a while back, a couple of months ago, a friend of mine I'd sold a horse to, he's a retired policeman. His name is Matt Carmichael, and he retired, and now he does ornamental iron work. He builds ornamental gates and chandeliers. Always been a cowboy at heart. Always wore cowboy boots and loved being around the horses. He's always had horses, and he's getting a little older, and he can't really afford to show in the cutting deal because he just really doesn't have that much money. But he wanted to know how to work a flag. He's been showing in the working cow horse deal, and right after that, he showed in his first class, and he won his class. And boy, you talking about a happy cowboy now. He was sure enough happy. But anyway, I got him to come up here, and I showed him how I work a flag. And I got to thinking, well, probably a lot of people like him don't really know how to work a flag. So my idea was to have 3 of these 30-minute, hopefully entertaining type learning videos that show you how I work a flag. And I'm gonna try to, my way of working the flag is probably, it's real simple, it's not real hard. I believe in going slow, and if a horse can't do it slow, he probably ain't gonna be able to do it fast. If he can do it slow and you gradually build him up, well, he'll get where he can do it fast. Is my way the only way? Probably not. But it works for me, and I feel like it'll work for you too. And we'll start out, I've talked enough, we'll start out. Now I've prepared these horses before I work on a flag. I like my horses to have a lot more handle than a lot of folks. And what you call a bridle horse, and it takes a long time to make a bridle horse. This horse I'm riding today, his name is Sweet Desperado, and I raised this horse and I sold him to Dr. Ira Kupperberg and his wife Gloria. They own him, and he's just a pleasure. He's a 6-year-old now. I got injured in 11, and then he's really like a 5-year-old. He's got a real big motor, just a really, really nice horse. And so I'm gonna get ready to work this horse on a flag. But first thing I'm gonna do is prepare him to work on a flag. Backing up is very important on a cow horse. I mean, it strengthens muscles that they normally don't use, that they're gonna need when they do all this really hard stuff. And plus, it helps their mind and teaches them to break in the pole and do all the nice things we want a horse to do as a bridle horse. So I'm gonna walk out here and show you the first thing I do. When I come out of the barn every morning with a horse, I don't care which one it is, I come to right out here and I back this horse up. So I'm gonna walk out over here, get out of these rocks, turn this horse around. Now I like a horse that's real light. And I'm not really pulling. If you notice, I just got my fingers just kind of on the tips, and I'm not really pulling. If I see I want this horse to break in the pole, and if I see that he ain't breaking, I'm just gonna shake the reins at him and watch what happens. He'll drop his head. Now I'm gonna just cock him over here and let him back in a circle. And I'm not pulling hard on this horse. If I see him raise his head, I'm just gonna bump his rein there, and I'm not bumping him hard. I'm just asking him to break in the pole and give to me. And if I want to speed up, I don't pull any harder. Very important. You don't want to pull any harder. I've got my horse in reverse, and if I want to speed up, I'm gonna use my legs. I'm just gonna move my legs and he speeds up. That's my accelerator. And I'm gonna cock his head a little bit to the right and back him up, and I'm gonna cock him back to the left and back him up. And I might back up. I'm not gonna back him up as much as I would normally because we have a limited amount of time. But I think you can see what I'm doing. Just remember now, the first time I started with this horse, it didn't end up this way. I've been riding this horse now 4 years, and it's taken 4 years to get to this point. When you first start out, you know, if that horse will back up 10 feet, let that be good enough. And then the next day you can ask 11 or 12 feet, the next day 15 feet, and just gradually increase things until you can back him up 100 yards. The more you back him up, the better about backing up he's going to get. In this game that we playing, fixing to play right now, backing up is good. Every time we stop, we would like this horse to think back up. If we get him thinking about backing up every time he stops, the war has been won. Not to say that's all of it, but boy, that's a big part of it. If we can get this horse thinking back up, boy, it's just things are gonna get better and better and better, and just keep on getting better. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Show Pro Industries. The flag that I've got and I've had for a real long time, and Lloyd at Show Pro Industries, they in Springtown, Texas. Lloyd is a very knowledgeable guy. If you want to get technical, he's the guy to talk to, because buddy, he can get technical. He knows everything there is to know about it. He can answer any question. The model that I've got is an old model. It's a 1401. I've probably had this thing 18, 19, 20 years. I've never had any problems with it. It's been a good unit. I also have a round pin. This is a big old round pin. I've got a round pin unit too, and I've never had any problems with it. You can't ask for somebody to be any more knowledgeable than Show Pro Industries. John is a technician there, and buddy, he knows. He's good. I recommend these people, and I'm not going to do that, recommend anybody. I've got to have some sponsors to put this 30 minutes together. But the people that I'm going to recommend to you, I am very confident that they stand behind their stuff and they got good stuff. I'm not going to advertise for somebody that I don't believe in. I'm just not going to do it. If they've got good stuff, and I've owned some of it, and I know it, and I know that they're going to stand behind it, I'm going to dang sure pull the plug for them. But Lloyd is a good guy. I'm sure they got a website. If you have any problems, you can call me. My number is 334-391-0811. 334-391-0811, and I'll help you get hooked up with Lloyd. But believe me, they're good people to work with. And this flag, you can't train a horse completely with a flag, but you can set things up in a repetitive way that you can't do with a cow. And boy, it is extremely helpful to get these horses trained by using this flag. You can't do it all with a flag. You got to have a cow. But you can do a lot of things that you really can't do on a cow, because a cow's got his own mind. This thing here, I've got a button. It's got my mind. If I see that I got a little problem need to work on, I can set it up and repeat it, repeat it, and repeat it. And that's how these horses learn. So I've got a better shot. With a cow, I can't do that. I mean, he might do something and this horse make a little mistake, and I said, well, I need to work on that. That cow might not do that again. So I can't work on it, but I can come out here on this flag and work on it. Cattle are pretty expensive right now. A 6-weight heifer is probably going to cost you $1,500–1,600 bucks. Well, that's about what you can buy a flag for. And you can do a lot of neat things on this flag. I really recommend the flag. And I think if you work it the way I did, slow, let that flag carry you somewhere, your horse will start reading that flag. And if he can read the flag, he'll be able to read a cow. And that's what we want. Okay, now I'm gonna come over here to the flag. And I'm not going to start out working this flag. I haven't loped this horse. A lot of people like to lope horses, and I prefer to do this right here. Now I'm going to find me a spot in this fence, and I've got this set up kind of like it would be at a show. And I find me a spot, and I'm going to ride to it. Now if you notice, when this horse got there, he backed up. And that's what I want. He got stopped, and he thought about backing up. Now he tried to cheat me a little bit and go to the right. I'm just gonna take him to the left. Then I'm gonna find me a spot and I'm gonna ride to this fence. I don't like to lope horses, especially these young horses. It's bad, I think, on their joints. I prefer to do this right here. I think they learn more. See how this horse backed up on his own. He's waiting on me, kind of wanted to check in, but I'm gonna just break him the other way anyway. And I'm gonna find me a spot over here, and I'm gonna ride, and I'm using my legs. I wanna have this horse where I can place him with my legs wherever I want. At a show, right there, he didn't quite do that fast as I'd like. That's the correct way. I'm gonna find me a spot over here. At the show, as long as you keep your legs behind your cinch, they can't take points away from you. So ideally, you want these horses broke where you can ride them with your legs. I like a horse to let me ride him where I want to be, depending on what the cow is doing. And so I can't stress enough how important it is to ride these horses with your legs. And this horse is going off to the left. I'm going to push him back on the line I want. He listened to me, and I've got me a spot, and he's going right where I want to go. And he's backing up on his own. He's waiting on me. And he kind of thought about going right, so I'm just going to go the opposite way. Now, I do a lot of spinning like this, and one of these other films I'm going to make, I'm going to show you how I think it's the best way to teach your horse how to turn around. And this horse does it pretty darn good. A lot of times when I turn him, I can look down there and he's done dug a hole in one spot where he's planted that leg. That was real good. I'm just gonna ask him to turn. And you know that's real slow. Now he's wanting to drift off. I'm gonna put him back in line with my leg. If he hadn't listened, I just reached up here with my hand and helped him and used my leg. Find the spot. He's thinking right, he's thinking back up. I'm gonna ask him to turn. And if you notice, this horse led with his head. Very important that he leads with his head. This game is a game of being correct. There's a correct way to do it, and there's not a correct way to do it. When I go into this fence, I want him to go straight. I don't want him squirrel up either way. He did that real nice. I'm gonna let him turn. And I'm gonna find me a point down here. And this horse kind of did that again, went off to his left, and I'm just gonna run my spur up his rib cage real lightly, let him know that, hey, that's not acceptable. You've got to listen to me. Now I'm just real relaxed up here. That's pretty good. Not exactly as good as I'd like it, but I'm not too picky. It was pretty nice. Okay, I didn't work my end, so I'm gonna see. I got 3 words I like. Whoa. Very important, this horse knows that word, whoa. When I'm working him, I might get in a spot where I need that word, and when I use that word, whoa, if you notice, I draw it out. Now, he kind of didn't do that quite as good as I'd like. He backed up on his own, but I would have liked for it to be just a little quicker. I got 3 words I try to teach a horse, whoa. He could have done that a little faster, and I'm not hurting him. I'm not really getting on to him. I'm just encouraging him to just give me a little more effort than that. Whoa, that was pretty nice. Now he didn't quite lead with his head like I would like, and if you notice, I've got his head over there pretty far. And my theory is when I correct this horse, I'm gonna ask it all the way over here. And horses are like people, they gonna wanna cheat you. Whoa. They gonna wanna cheat you. And so if I correct him every time with his head over here on my leg, when he cheats me, his head will be about where I want it. Whoa. I'm gonna ask him to turn, and I'm just putting a little bit of left leg in him. When he's backing up, I want him to back straight. I don't want him to try to cheat me in any way. I want him to come in here and back straight. Whoa, that's real nice. And if you notice, this horse is not worried about it. If you get him worried, you're in a lot of trouble. And he's done everything kind of like I want. I see just a little bit of sweat between his ears there. So I think he's probably ready to work a flag.
Let's build a community with rows of doors, windows, and trees. One made up of wood, concrete, and hard work. Of smiles of people, caring individuals, helping build one home at a time. Volunteer with Habitat for Humanity today and change lives of families in need of a home worldwide. Because we all need better communities. Let's be a part of it.
Now, I want this horse now he's backing out of here on his own, and I really like that. Got his head real low. If he don't, I'm just going to encourage him on my legs. I'm not going to snatch on him in any way. I like to do a lot of turning on a horse. I don't think you can do too much of this. And if you notice now, I'm trying to keep this horse just as calm as I possibly can. This horse here has got a real big motor, and I want to save all that to a show. If I want to go harder, I want him, as I can just ride him harder with my legs and he'll go harder. He's got a real big motor and a lot of try. So I'm going to try to work him as calm as I can. Now this flag is a little bit off on the left, and when I work it, I'm gonna act like I'm just at a show. So I'm gonna be on the little bit to the left outside just to encourage this flag, or cow, we're gonna call it a cow, to go to the center. So I'm gonna get outside and start, and then I'm gonna ride to the outside. Now this is a finished horse, so I'm kind of riding to the outside of this cow. And when he gets outside, I'm gonna stop it. And I'm not doing anything, I'm just letting him kind of do it on his own. I want to keep him calm. I'm gonna ride him a little harder right there in my legs. And that move right there I wasn't real happy with, but I ain't worried too much about it. He stopped good. If I corrected him, I'm liable to get that motor going, and I don't want to. I just want him to learn this pattern, what he's supposed to do, and to read this flag. And right here, I'm gonna stop it in the center. Stop it again. And notice this horse is thinking back up. I really like that. He's thinking back up. I like that. I wasn't crazy about that turn, but it wasn't bad. On a cow, it wouldn't be like that. So I'm not even gonna worry about it. I can feel this horse real anticipating. So I'm just gonna flatten him off right here, hold him, let him be late, and pull him outside this cow again. I'm gonna hold him with my legs, pull him outside this cow again. Now then, this horse has worked this thing probably 40 seconds, about like I would at a cutting. My first cow, 30 seconds, something like that. So I'm gonna reward this horse for doing pretty good. Let him back off and kind of get his air. And I'm looking here, and he's pluffing. This is pretty hard work for him, what we're doing right here. He's having to exert a lot of energy. Okay, I'm gonna turn him around. I'm gonna act just like I'm gonna pull another cow out, just like I would at the cut. And this flag is off to the right, so I'm gonna set this horse. I want him to listen to me and let me set him up in a place that's gonna encourage this cow to ride to the middle of the pen. I'm gonna correct him right here. I'm not gonna hurt him. I'm gonna try to do it as kindly as I can. I don't want to get him up. He's not bad. But he's got a lot of try, and sometimes he tries too hard. I want to save all that for the show. Okay, this is my second cow, and I'm gonna quit right there. That's what I would quit at the show. If you notice, this horse is starting to drop his old head, backing off this cow. Boy, I really like that. Now I'm just gonna let him sit here and breathe a minute.
Let's build a community with rows of doors, windows, and trees. One made up of wood, concrete, and hard work. Of smiles of people, caring individuals, helping build one home at a time. Volunteer with Habitat for Humanity today and change lives of families in need of a home worldwide. Because we all need better communities. Let's be a part of it.
This horse has kind of breathed here a minute. I've cut 2 cows, so we at the cutting. I'm gonna cut my 3rd cow. I'm gonna just act like the herd's back here, and I'm gonna turn, pick me out a cow, drive it out, and I'm off just a little bit to the right, so I'm gonna try to set this deal up where I'm off to the right. That's gonna encourage this cow to go back toward the center. I'm just gonna correct this horse, let him know he's gotta think. Back up. I'm gonna try to keep it as calm as I can. Now I can feel this horse kind of wanting to cheat me a little bit, so I just went the same way. I'm gonna just kind of outsmart him. I'm gonna use that. Instead of pulling on him, I'm just gonna carry it the same way. I mean, he's got to, if you just keep going the other way, they'll go to trying to cheat you. If that happens, just go the same way. And he's pretty nice right here. That's about the length of time that I would work if I was at the cutting. So I'm gonna let that be it. At the end of each one of these 30-minute educational films, and hopefully somewhat entertaining, I'm gonna have a ranching tip of the day. Since I'm a rancher, and boy, I really love ranching, the tip of the day is stewardship. And what does that mean? Well, there's a list probably that long of what makes a good steward. The essence of it is leave it better than you found it. If you've done that, you've been a good steward. And that's just gonna help you in every kind of way, growing grass, whatever endeavor. Just remember, take care of your land and it will take care of you. Take care of your animals and they'll take care of you. And that's my tip for the day.